one dipstick for your Mercedes. Follow this video to see how to. Alright, so chances are if you're from this era Mercedes or newer, you might not have a dipstick with your car, which is the case for my C55. Most Mercedes of this era came with something like this. It's a little red cap that covers in the dipstick tube. And then you're supposed to use either the digital reader on the dash or the universal dipstick tool to read the measurement based off of whatever millimeter increments it is for high and low oil amount. Now what I did, I'll show you guys, is I bought this universal tool off of Amazon, and you can buy the actual Mercedes one if you wanted to, but I just got the exact same one for the part numbers for Mercedes actual tool. It's actually made by BOM Tools, and there's a lot of replicators out there, and it's just a piece of metal with this. So this is about $15. What I did is I basically put this all the way in a dipstick tube. This is not intended originally to be left in. It's just supposed to be a measurement tool, and then you don't leave it in the car when you're not doing the measurements. But what I did is I put it all the way down until I knew that this was at the bottom of the sump. I measured from the top portion to the portion that's going to stick on the top of the opening of the dipstick tube, and I basically marked it to where it was going to be. It measured about 7¼ inches on my application. You'll have to do that measurement on your car depending. If you have a C55, it's probably about the same, but I would measure just in case, just to be sure. So I measured that distance between what was exposed still after it was bottomed out, and then I cut off that portion. So here it is, about 7¼ piece of the end that was on there before. And then I, from there, marked where my high and low marks were gonna be, just using some pliers with some edges on them and measuring exactly where it was gonna sit. So now I have my measurements for my low and my high, and I have a dipstick that I can leave in the car, which is really nice and convenient. Now, when I'm measuring it right now, I just did an oil change last week, so I know the car has 9 quarts in it, but it might not read all the way full, even if it has a full amount. And I'll give you an example of that right now with the digital reader on the dash. So to do this, I would suggest going into the Dyno Mode. You can do it where you go through the menu and you pick measure oil level, but that one's kind of finicky, and it's only going to tell you if it's okay or if it's quart low or whatever. So rather, I would suggest putting the key in, turning to the first position, clicking 3 times real fast on the reset button, and then you are in what's called the dyno menu. And once I go here, click to the last position, it will begin measuring the oil level and tell you what you have. So it shows me right here, I have 8 liters in there, 8.1 now, it's going back and forth. But this is in the sump, it's measuring from the sump. Now, the oil filter housing holds about close to a quart. So I know I have an accurate amount as long as I'm getting at least 8 liters in here. If I let the oil drain all the way down, it might read a little bit higher as it's kind of going back and forth. Right there you see between 8 and 8.1. So normally after an oil change, I'll see around maybe 8.2 to 8.4 depending. So I know that this is pretty accurate right now. So, why would you need a dipstick if the car already has a digital reader? Well, the digital readers aren't always 100% accurate, and a lot of times they can go out on older vehicles. So it's nice to have peace of mind of just old school, simple, basic tool to be able to check the oil, like all cars should still have. It's a necessity that you should have in an engine. I mean, the oil is the lifeblood of an engine, and you should have a tool to measure what the amount is that's in there. So in this case, for $15 and a little bit of surgery on the piece, you can have a dipstick tool that you can keep in the car, in the engine bay if you would like to, or in the car readily available for you to use, that can measure accurately and tell you where your oil is sitting. Now, the one thing I'll still have to look up, they don't specify this on the Mercedes tool either, is if you were sitting at, you know, a lower portion, then how much oil does it take to get back to the higher portions? So I'll have to test this over time to see, you know, if I do end up on the low side as I go up in the miles since the oil change. If the car loses some oil, then I'll have to kind of measure it out. I'll pour half a quart in and see what the measurement goes up to, pour a full quart in, see what the measurement goes up to, and then be able to report back. So this will be kind of an ongoing thread. Any comments or reviews I have or updates I have, I will pin to the comments and put any information as well in the bio of the video. So yeah, just a quick video for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you're new to the channel and you just found this because you want a dipstick for your Mercedes, think about subscribing. Check out my other content. If you guys like older AMGs, I have a C55 and MBWorld. And for all of our returning subscribers, shout out to you guys and thank you for watching. I will see you on the next one. Peace.